Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man who finds out his wife is with him and not with AP only because he pays for her master's program. Let's see how it goes. Story 1. So my wife and I have been married for 3 years, and for the past 6 months or so, we've been drifting apart. We've been arguing a lot, and my wife seems to have no patience with me. She started an expensive grad program around the time we first started having these problems, and she has 1.5 more years to go before graduating. I know this program took a huge toll on her, and she's been constantly stressed, so I've been doing everything in my power to relieve her stress. I've taken on the full financial responsibility of the household and also started doing 80% of the chores as well to ease the load on her. Last week, I saw her phone getting messages 24 times in a row. She was passed out on the couch with her laptop open in front of her, so I took a look in her phone thinking maybe it could be an emergency. However, what I discovered were chats with a man at her grad school. They've been having an affair for at least 6 months from what I could tell. They were planning to move in together. She explained to him that she couldn't wait to be on his bed by side as his mate, but the one thing that was pulling her back to me was her grad school program. I'm the one paying her tuition, $40,000 a year. Since most of her paycheck goes into settling her college loans, and she earns a fraction of what I do anyway. In her line of expertise, earning a decent wage without a postgraduate degree is nearly impossible anyway. Obviously, I saw red, but I kept my cool. I still haven't confronted her. My plan is to plan my exit smoothly and then confront her. My fear is the divorce will lead me to financial ruin. Like a fool, I did not get a prenup, and I fear I'd need to part with my savings, which is around $210,000, and my car, plus end up having to pay alimony to her. Is there any way around this? Update. So, wife had an affair with a guy from her grad school and kept me on a leash because I was the one paying her very expensive master's program, without which she would not be able to earn decently in her field of work. I found out but kept my mouth shut till I got my ducks in order. I confronted her on the 16th with divorce papers. At first, she tried to deny, but then I showed the screenshots. Cue the waterworks and begging and the "it was a mistakes." She's been begging to be taken back, saying she'd do anything to repair the damage. Families and friends have been alerted of the divorce, but we have mutually agreed to keep the reason under wraps. For her, the way the society perceives is very important, more than anything else. My lawyer has advised me to use this to my advantage in the mediation. As he pointed out, I'm the one with a lot to lose. She's standing to gain. So cheers for me, boys. Final update. My story is on here for anybody who wants to read. Today we attended the final mediation session. Soon-to-be ex has finally agreed to an uncontested divorce. She's not asking for her deserved half, as she put it. I have significant savings and a paid-off car. I haven't told anybody the real reason why we're divorcing, as per my lawyer's warnings. I've held that over a bargaining chip over her shoulder at our mediation sessions. I bring a folder with printed chats between her and AP for all of our sessions. Every time she opens her mouth to contradict my lawyer, I put my hand on the folder. It silences her. Before anybody says it, yes, I'm an asshole. She loathes me. She keeps asking me what she's going to do with her life now that I've taken my funding off of her master's, without which her degree would be virtually useless. I snapped the other day and told her she could always go to AP, which made her break down. She and I still live together in the house. Believe me, I've tried to get her out, but like a stage 4 cancer, she refuses to go. Her family, her parents, her brother live several states away, and it seems there has been a major falling out between her and her best friend. She has very little savings, so hotels or even an Airbnb is simply out of the question. I guess this weekend, I'm going to give her some cash and force her out. It'll be worth it considering seeing her face every day has taken a huge toll on me. My lawyer says the divorce will be finalized within 4 weeks. I want out so bad, I wish I could close my eyes and I'd wake up 4 weeks later. I hate her, and my priority right now is to get her out of the house ASAP. I'm just so done with it all. Thanks everybody for all the comments and help. It meant so much. Story 2. A little backstory. It happened about 10 weeks and 7 days ago, to be exact. Me and my ex has had an on-again, off-again relationship for 5 years. I found out that she slept with someone else when we was working on us. When I found out that she had ended up sleeping with someone else, I kind of flipped, but handled it a lot better than I thought I would. Well, we decided to work things out, and everything was going great. I had to leave to go out of town for a week to train for my new position. Well, it was about 4 days before I had to leave, and she wasn't acting herself. She wouldn't answer my calls and would ignore them and wouldn't even respond to my texts. So ended up passing her going down the road with another guy in the car with her, and that was it. I knew why she didn't respond. I leave and go out of town. I was gone for about 6 weeks. She called me about week 3 and we talked. She told me she didn't love me anymore and that she has felt that way for about 9 months. I told her why not just end things with me instead of me having to find out this way. Well, fast forward. I come home one weekend and I see her. We talked and she didn't tell me she was pregnant. I could just tell. I'm not gonna lie, I bawled my eyes out. But a few weeks past pay and she slowly starts texting me more and more. Turns out her and the baby daddy ain't doing so well. He would leave for days at a time and not even text her. Turns out he's still with his ex, so now she's pregnant with his kid and he don't want to be with her nor really want the kid. She asked me if she can come over one day so we could talk and everything, and she starts crying and I give her a hug, and just like that she has me again. But now I'm asking myself, can I truly trust her? Is the only reason she wants to be with me is because she needs a source of income for the baby? She said she wants me to be the dad. But like I said, how can I even trust her? Like, what would stop her from just up and leaving and doing the same thing again? I really need some advice, please. Update. I just want to thank everyone. I do realize I'm Plan B and have been for a long time. I guess I was just wishing things would change and get better and she would love me like she used to. But I guess that's why it's called wishing. I've seen her true colors more than I care to admit. I've been beyond stupid for trying to stay around and play hero. She isn't the nicest person to me, hasn't been for a while like some of you said. I'm just a doormat to her. I'm just who she's comfortable with when things get uncomfortable. But she can be very mentally abusive and made me feel horrible. I guess I left that part out. I think the reason I stayed so long is because it's what I thought or what felt normal. Maybe one day I'll find someone who truly loves me and shows it. Maybe one day I'll be the one they'll be afraid to lose. But I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. I wish you all knew how much this helped me and how much it took me to write this down. Thank you all. It's pretty obvious she doesn't love you, but she's probably scared to death to be a single mom living in squalor. That's why she found you again, so you can step in as the breadwinner and free daddy figure. She's making you out to be just another white knight on a mission to save her. I predict that if you go down this path, she'll continue to cheat on you while you're together. You are setting yourself up to be raising a whole family of children who aren't your biological children. And at that point, you'll be trapped. So do not walk into this trap, my man. Get out while you can. Now for some comments. Put this into perspective. She left you for another guy. She left you while you two were supposed to be working things out. She fucked you over and threw you under the bus for this guy. If that's not enough, think about this. If the guy wasn't leaving her at times and they were doing fine, she wouldn't have came back to you. She told you she doesn't love you and she hasn't for months. Who's to say this dude won't sweet talk her and boom, she's gone again. Then he fucks up and boom, she's back at your place. The kid has nothing to do with this, but keep in mind, when that kid is born, the guy is probably going to want to be a part of the kid's life. Now you have to live a 3-way relationship with her and a guy who she left you for and got pregnant by whom she might go back to one day. Either way, that kid is permanent mark for the fuck up that she did, and you might find yourself thinking, why am I fathering someone else's kid, especially to someone who fucked me over? You need to decide what you're going to do. The kid has nothing to do with this though, so before you decide to father that kid, weigh your situation. Sounds like you're this girl's backup. I'm assuming you're relatively young. You want to tie yourself down with her and the baby that's due? Take my advice and move on. It's not going to be easy because you sound like you're crazy about her. But what you have to realize is she doesn't love you half as much as you love her. Find someone that doesn't treat you as a backup. Good luck, buddy. I don't know if trust is your biggest worry. This woman told you she does not love you, dumps you, gets pregnant with another guy. When he loses interest in her, she goes back to the familiar. She did not dump this guy to be with you. She wanted him until he dumped her. She wants you out of convenience, not love. She's going to continue to screw you over if you do not leave her. Ask yourself how long until she hooks up with someone who is actually interested in her. Not long. Good luck.